What's up, mamas? I'm Rebecca. You're watching the Reseller Mom Show. Thanks for joining me today for more Reseller Mom content to get more done, make more money, and stay sane while raising kids and reselling online. In today's video, we are going to go over how to make your customer service a little bit more stress-free and automate it a little bit more so it's easier and it doesn't take up that much mental energy, and it's a smooth process to give great customer service for your online store. Stay tuned. Customer service and dealing with customers online can be almost as frustrating, if not more frustrating, than dealing with them in person. If you've ever had a job in retail or in a restaurant or any place that you need to deal with people in person, it can be annoying. And I fancy myself a people person, but they also just really get me going crazy. So even though I have a thick skin, I don't take a lot of things personally. I just get really amped up sometimes by the stupidity and nonsense of people. And so for me, automating my customer service has really helped me handle it faster, not get my blood boiling while I'm doing it, just kind of freeing up mental energy, saving time, because I'm not typing in the same responses over and over again to stupid questions. And I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes, and just, kind of helping me. I want to handle my customer service quickly, and so I don't leave it till later. I handle it immediately. If a question comes in, I handle it immediately, because that's when your buyer is shopping. And so they may not be ready to shop later, but they're ready to shop now. And so I feel like it's important to jump on your customer service replies and answers to questions and comments as soon as you can. But at the same time, it takes you out of whatever you're currently doing. And so that can be a pain in the neck sometimes, especially if it's a comment or question that makes you crazy. So hopefully some of the tips and things that I go over today will help you handle it and then get back to what you're doing as quickly as possible. So to start off, I just have 4 things to kind of mention blanket overall, and then I'll get into and screen share with you all of the actual responses that I use to automate my customer service. So the first thing to keep in mind I have is just don't take it personally. Don't take it personally. I mean, things get me upset, right? Like a stupid question on top of 10 other crazy things that happened that day. Sometimes that's all you need for it to set you off. But I don't take it personally to me. It's just in general, I'm pissed that this thing is happening. So I never feel like it's an attack on me. I never feel like people are lowballing me on purpose. I never feel, if anything, I feel like they're the idiots. So I don't ever take anything personally. It rolls right off my back. And there are some people that handle it completely different than me. So my advice to you would just be, don't take it personally. The next thing is, if it helps you and it helps me, say the most mean, awful thing in your head or out loud, but don't type it. So, I want to do a thing on Instagram. I always say I'm going to, and then I never do, because I'm afraid it's going to get me in trouble. But I want to say, here's the question, here's what I wanted to say, and here's what I actually said. If you have to get the steam off and to vent your feelings of this nonsense thing that happened, whether it's a comment on Poshmark, a question on eBay, or whatever, just say the most mean, awful thing that you can, but don't actually type it, just say it. So I have a few choice words that I use for my buyers when they make me upset. And I say my buyers, but really they might not even be the people actually buying the items. They may be people that are asking questions that may not end up buying it, but potential buyers, I guess I should say. So I have a few choice words that I say, and I say them in my head. If Gio is around, if Gio is not around, I say them out loud, and I'm just like, bleepity beep, bleep, bleep, this person. But then I write back a nice response, and that helps me feel better. So try that if you haven't before. The other thing to keep in mind is just be professional. Again, this is just a reminder overall. Maybe you're new, maybe you're not, but it's something to keep in mind. Be professional when you're writing back. You are a store. It's as if, you were some store in the mall that they came in and they were looking around and they had a question for you as the salesperson. Do you want to answer them nasty, or do you want to answer them nicely? You should be answering them nicely. And so I keep it very professional when I write back to people. Every once in a while, I'll have a smart ass comment, but most of the time it's professional. And then the last thing is to respond quickly and then forget about it. So that's where all of this automation comes in. So respond quickly in that you see the question come in or the comment or the issue, say a few choice words in your head, write a response, send it off, don't think about it again. Don't fuss over it, don't vent over it, don't he and haw over it, just answer it and move on. And I feel like that's why having these automated preset responses to things helps speed that process along, so that I'm not fuming about it for 5 minutes, that I don't feel like I need to call somebody and tell them the kooky thing that just happened, that I'm not just like sitting there in a huff about it. Just answer it and move on. That's the quickest way you can get back to doing what you're doing, which is more important, which will build your business overall. So those are kind of like 4 just quick tips overall. Take this opportunity to like this video for me. I never say it and I need to say it more, so please like the video. It really does help me out. I'm not really sure exactly how, I just know that it's supposed to, and I don't get a lot of likes on my videos. I'm sure it's not because there's a lot of people that don't like them. I think I forget to ask you for it and people forget to do it. So please like the video if you are neutral or positive on this video. And if you don't like it, I guess give me a thumbs down. Now I'm going to go to the screen share and show you all the exact responses and how I do the responses so that you can implement this immediately and help you save time and mental energy in your business. Okay, so for this demonstration, since I don't have anything comment-wise to actually respond to at this time, thank God, I'm just going to show you the text replacements that I have on notes so you can see what they are and what they say, and then I'll show you right after that how to create one and where I put it. So I'm just going to show you in notes. And the first one I want to show you is something that I use mostly for eBay. I don't use it all the time. I really should use it more frequently. I used to use it a lot. And that is 000, which is my shortcut. And the text replacement that pops up says, thank you for your offer, but at this time, thank you for your offer, but this item is already deeply discounted on sale. I rounded it off for you. So this would be what I respond to as putting a note in when I'm countering an offer. So if you get a lowball offer and you're not wanting to take it, but you're wanting to counter and you're wanting to kind of stick to your guns and just send them a nice note that will kind of help them realize like their offer was total nonsense, then this is what I put. It doesn't work all the time, but it has worked for me where they will just go ahead and accept the counter offer. And the thing is, I don't take it personally when people send a lowball offer, and everyone's definition of a lowball offer is obviously different. So, and it depends on how much the item is too. So, I mean, this is going to deeply, depend for different people, and you can customize this response to something that would work best for you. You can also customize it to something that you can use on Poshmark. But for me, this was something that I tried out using it on eBay, and it did work in some situations, and I really should get back to using it. So again, if you get stressed out by lowball offers, having a preset response that you can send along with your counter offer, I think will help you take it less personally, will help you respond more quickly, and so you're not sitting there fuming about it. Okay, the next one is when people ask you for measurements, even though measurements are already there. That really drives me crazy. I usually, to myself, or even sometimes out loud if Gio is not around, curse them out, and then I respond with this. And so all I did was type in XMEAS for X and the first part of measure, and it says, hello, measurements are included in the listing for your convenience, thank you. And on my Mom Roar boutique on Poshmark, everything is signed with heart lion because it's Mom Roar, and so I have that, kind of pre-programmed in all my Poshmark things. And so again, you can customize these and use this to kind of give yourself different ideas of how you would like to respond. But for me, I just tried to showcase some of the things that are very general. And I feel like if you're someone that does put measurements in your listing, you don't want to be answering stupid questions about measurements when they are already there. So this is what I use for that. Next up is another one that I get commonly on Poshmark, which is asking for trades. And I have X and T, and that brings up no trades, sorry, thanks for your interest, Heart Lion. So I try to be as polite as possible. I may even add hello to this. I really do want my customer service to seem warm and friendly and not to seem not warm and friendly, whatever, rude and bitchy. So for me, I try to, I just have such animosity for stupid questions, but I do feel like having a nice response, because they're just asking. And so that doesn't mean that they won't buy. It just means maybe they wanted to try to trade first. So you never know, and it doesn't hurt to be nice. I also am trying to think more of like, how would I respond if this was actually a person standing in front of me rather than a person online where I'm not seeing their face to face. So there's that to keep in mind as well. Okay, moving on. The next one is when someone is shopping in your Poshmark closet and you're not sure if they're done shopping, if you want to send an offer to them, if you want them to, if they want you to send an offer, or you're just not sure what's going on. So this is what I started to come up with. It's XOF, which is, there we go. Hello, would you like me to send you an offer, or are you still shopping? And I might even make this sound a little bit nicer now that I'm reading it out loud with something else right before it that says, hello, thanks for visiting my closet, something like that. But again, this is something that you can use often. It'll take 2 seconds to type in 3 letters, which is your shortcut, and then it brings up a whole sentence. It's formatted, punctuated, and looks nice and professional, and I think that goes a long way. So some of these I have pre-programmed in here, and I use them occasionally, but now that I'm doing this video, I really feel like I should use them more frequently. The next one I put in almost every single listing at the bottom of my Poshmark listing. And this just has some general information to let people know what's going on in my Poshmark closet. And so that's XPM. And that is ships same next day, offers welcome, bundle and save 20%, heart for price drops, and then my hashtag for me, which I honestly don't really use that much anymore because everything is mostly tracked now by date in my inventory spreadsheet. But before, I didn't have that inventory spreadsheet, and so everything was kind of like, I pulled it up in Poshmark by this hashtag. So I could probably get rid of that, but it is nice to have in there. So if you're not coding your items by when you listed them, it's nice. It can come in handy. So this is just something that I use as a shortcut in my listing. Now, I don't have listing shortcuts on my phone, and right now I'm showing you phone ones that have all of the measurements and everything. I used to, but now I primarily list on the desktop when I'm listing. Again, I don't do all my listings. I have a virtual assistant help me with my listings, but when I'm listing, which I still do a little bit of, I use my text expander, which I've gone over in at least 1 or 2 videos previously about how I list super fast. And so that's on the desktop. I do have a text expander on the desktop. It's a Google Chrome extension, and it basically does the same thing as these keyboard shortcuts on your mobile phone. So next one is when someone asks you for a measurement or an additional photo. So an additional measurement or an additional photo. For me, I have all of my items in a storage unit, so I can't just drop everything and go over there and take a measurement. I also pre-pack my items, so they're folded up nice. There's a business card, thank you, in there. There's, they're in a resealable bag. They have their item number. So I really don't like to go in and do any extra measurements. I really don't like to go in and take any extra photos. I do every once in a while if I feel like it really would help this buyer, or if I feel like I really should have done that measurement to begin with. Maybe there's some error, maybe something doesn't make sense. Again, I have a photographer that takes the photos, preps, measures, and makes a listing form, and then the VA lists it. So sometimes I'm not actually handling the item. And so, if I feel like there's something that doesn't make sense, then I will go back and take care of it. But I can't always do it immediately. So I do have a response that I send to people, which is XPP, which I do use often. And that is, hello, items are prepackaged, ready to ship and stored offsite at warehouse. So this isn't even worded correctly. Oh my God. It should say, I'm so sorry, but I'm unable to provide additional measurements or photo at this time. Basic photos and measurements are provided in the listing description. Thank you. I need to fix that. That's terrible English. So this may or may not be something that you would need, because if you keep all of your items at home, you can go and take an additional measurement or additional photo. Now, if you're at the storage unit, then something like this would be helpful. But if you don't want to drop what you're doing and go and take a measurement or a photo, you can use this canned response even if you keep your items home. So just keep that in mind. You can customize these to whatever would fit your business. The main thing is not to have too many and to only really have a shortcut or a text replacement for responses that you really do use often. If you have to be customizing it and deleting stuff and all this, it's not worth doing. So only ones where you can type your quick shortcut, send it off, and be finished in 2 seconds rather than spending 3 minutes fuming and responding and typing something and fixing it and rewording it and whatever. All right, next up is something that I don't use very often, but I did for a little bit, and this is regarding returns. So this would be for eBay, of course. Thank you, and it's XRET. Thanks for bringing this to my attention and your original purchase. Sorry to hear there may be an issue with your item. I'm a little confused as to the issue, and for my records, can you please provide pictures of what you are referring to? That would help me understand the issue and how to move forward swiftly for you. Thank you. I also have used this on Poshmark if there was a case, and it's mostly just to get if you suspect the buyer to be a scammer, or you really don't think that there's an issue and you want to just kind of nicely push them to prove their case, this is where I use this. And so it doesn't happen often, but it's nice to have it when it does happen, because it is something that gets me a little pissed off, and this is a long response. I don't really feel like writing it every time. So it's basically just saying, listen, I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about. Can you send the picture so that way I can make sense of this? And that just kind of lets them know that you're not going to just refund the money blindly and, not stick up for your professionalism. So that's that one. And again, you can change that to something that would make sense for you. The next one is something I do use a lot when it's the right time. And this is my response for Poshmark when I'm on vacation, but I still leave my store open. And that is XVC, and that pops up. And this is from my last vacation. Thanks for your purchase. I just wanted to make sure you saw the sign on my closet that says I'm on vacation and items will ship on July 31st. Thanks again. So I just save this all the time, and I just change the date. Anytime I go on vacation, if I'm leaving my Poshmark store open, I put a little sign at the top of my closet, which is a listing that says shipping delay and, what day items are going to ship. And then anytime I get a purchase, I send them this note, and it takes 2 seconds. And it's amazing to have sales while you're on vacation. But at the same time, you don't want to be taking up all your time on vacation answering questions, responding back to people, typing on your phone, doing all this stuff. That's family time, and you should keep all of your work to as minimal as possible. And so I just send this note off when someone makes a purchase. It takes literally 2 seconds, and at least I know that they know. And most of the time, the people respond back with no problem, enjoy your vacation. That's fine, no worries. And if they did have an issue, they'd tell you, and then you can just cancel the order. And that way then they can move on with their day and find another seller that has the item they're looking for, and you can move on with your vacation. So I think that's a really useful one. So those are all of the text replacements that I use. Now, I do want to show, now I use other ones, but these were the main ones that I thought would apply. So now I'm going to show you where to do it. So you go into, I have it in here, but it's in your settings. And again, I have an iPhone. I don't know about Android. I don't know about any other kind of phone. I just know about iPhone. So sorry. Settings, and then you go to general, and then you go to keyboard, and then you go to text replacement. And I have so many in here. And again, not all of them apply. There's some that are for my Reseller Mom show. There's some for my local closet clear out things. There's some for my, virtual assistants. There's so many things. There's some for my Facebook, all that stuff. So if you want to make a new one, you just go to the plus sign at the top, and the phrases where you're going to copy and paste what you're actually trying to say. So the big long phrase that you're trying to put. So if you're trying to put, have a nice day today. Yep, and I'm spelling it wrong, whatever, who cares? So if you want your shortcut to be PPOI, great. Now for me, I tried not to, put too many things in my shortcut. So that's actually a stupid shortcut. I would do XXQ. Like I try to keep it to 3 or 4 characters max. I was using 1, 2, 3 to start it off with no space and then some letters. But then I realized I had to click on the numbers keyboard and then click back to the regular keyboard, and that was time consuming. So now I usually put an X. So before I did XPP, I did X measure, I did XVC for vacation. So I try to start it with an X. You could start it with a Q, with a Z, anything that's a weird one, and then maybe 1 or 2 letters that hint to the thing that you're trying to say. So whether it's measurements, or XPP is X prepackaged, or XVC is X vacation, something to where it will jog your memory of what it is, because if you have to go look it up in your keyboard thing, that's a waste of time. So again, try to make it 2 to 4 letters, preferably with a weird letter to start it, no spaces, and 2 letters that you wouldn't normally type together. I remember there was one that I had for excellent condition, no flaws, which is how I mark my pre-owned items. And so I started it with EX. And here, see, it's still there. And so anytime I'm trying to write something with an EX, which could be expected, excellent, whatever other words, exercise, this pops up and I have to not select for that to happen. So it's just something to keep in mind to create a text replacement that's going to make sense and only make sense for that thing. Okay, so this we don't want to save. We're going to get rid of that. Oh my God, here come all my trackings. There's one other thing I wanted to show, and that is an app. Where to go? Here it is. It's called Pre-Typed Keyboard. Now, I have some for my Reseller Mom Show responses that I send for guests on the Momversations with all of the Zoom information. I have some things for my local closet clear out. I have, just random things. And so this I like because it's an app that you can download. Again, it's it's called Pre-Typed Keyboard. That's the app. That's what it looks like. Pre-typed, it's an advertisement. Pre-typed keyboard. Sorry, I should have just done a thing. I have so many apps on here that I don't even use. Pre-typed keyboard is what it's called, and where it shows up is in your keyboards. So if I want to type something from my pre-typed keyboard, I go down to the little globe where you can get your emojis. So that's my emojis. The next thing is my Zmoji. It's for when I have those little cartoon Rebeccas, and I don't know, it has a keyboard. I don't understand why that is, but it's there. And if I click one more time, it brings it up to my pre-typed keyboard, whatever. And so let's pick one. This is my Lake Nona closet clear out, area. And so this is my closet clear out, and I'm just writing thanks for participating, and here's what I passed on, and here's what I can offer you. And it's just a whole blah, 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 all this stuff. I can share this in another video, how they can refer a friend. So it's basically a pre-canned response. But the general gist of why I like this pre-typed keyboard pad is for long responses that require formatting. So, for example, these ones that we were doing earlier are basically a sentence, maybe 2. And so it's okay if they can just run on from line to line. Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. They can just run on from line to line without any formatting in between. But if you want to create paragraphs or any other spacing or any other formatting like that, you cannot do it because you're just copying and pasting a phrase and it's going to just blurt out with complete text wrapping. And so when I wanted to do pre-canned responses for my local closet clear out, which requires a lot of information about my guidelines, information I need from them, how it works, whatever. It's a couple of little paragraphs, and I wanted it spaced out so that it was more pleasing to the eye and could be, made sense of more easily. And so whenever I put it in my keyboard replacement, it would just come out in one big like mush ball, and that was no good. So I don't even remember where I found this app, maybe somebody on a YouTube video, I don't even know. But anywho, I like that because it allows you to create something that is formatted. So if we want to make a new one, we can give it a title and we can write, "Thank you so much. You are wonderful. Have a nice day. Save." And so now that's going to be, in there. And when I press on that, sorry, I'm having a hard time explaining myself right now. When I press on that on my keyboard, there it goes. And so you're able to have it formatted. Again, I just typed quick little lines, but in the text replacement part of where I showed you earlier under my settings, that would not allow you to do that. That would have this all scrunched up. And it wouldn't even be like this. It would be like that. You see the difference? So that's why the pre-typed keyboard is way better, because it's a formatted response. Now for Poshmark, I don't really have that lengthy of a response. For eBay, I don't really have that lengthy of a response. However, if you wanted to use that pre-typed keyboard as a listing template with spacing and formatting and, line spaces and all of that, you could totally do that. I haven't done that, again, because mostly I'm listing on the desktop, and so I don't need it on my phone. But that's something that I would consider if I was doing more mobile listing. So if you do a lot of your listings from mobile, I would definitely suggest creating, a little formatted Word document, or do it in your notes, or however you want it to look, or copying and pasting from an actual listing, taking out all the information to make it a template form, and then download that app, pre-typed keyboard, and copy and paste that in. And then anytime you want to go and list an item, all you have to do is click your keyboard, go to that, and boom, your template's going to pop in completely formatted. So the time saver of that is that you don't have to copy and paste possibly multiple things in. I think some people have like little things in their notes where it's measurements or this or that, and you're copying and pasting, and maybe you're copying and pasting back and forth depending on if it's a top or whatever. And so with this, you wouldn't need to do that, because it's already going to be a listing template, and you can have different templates for different things, and it's just all set to go. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on that. I think that these handy dandy things can really save you some serious time and stress and mental energy when you're answering customer service issues from selling online. But there are so many other ways to use it, and I encourage you to stay tuned for that. I'm back. So one other one that I'm going to set up, now that I kind of put all this together in my video, I'm like, what other things can I do to even save myself more time? So this week I'm really going to be paying attention to the responses that I actually hand type out, and see if any of those can be automated. So that's something I would recommend that you do, is just kind of take an audit of the things that you're already writing one by one, and then see if that's something that you can make into an automated response. So try that out. What I'm going to try to do is like a thank you for your purchase, here's when it's gonna ship kind of note. I will say, I don't think I'm going to do this on all the platforms. I think I'm probably going to only do it on Poshmark, maybe Mercari. It's going to be a quick response, and I'm going to have one that's either going to say, thanks so much for your purchase. This item's going to ship out today. Hope you enjoy, or something. And then another one that's going to say, thanks so much for your purchase. This item's going to ship out to you tomorrow. Hope you love it. Something like that, something very easy peasy, but at least it lets the person know that I received the order and that I plan to ship it out quickly. I've been wanting to do this, and I used to do this very early on when I only got a few sales a day, or if that, when I very first started on Poshmark. Then I kind of got really busy with it and a little fancy, and so I was like, I'm not gonna respond and tell them thanks for your purchase. Like, I'm busy and have a million other things to do. But I really should. It's good customer service. It gives them peace of mind. I have to tell you, I've ordered some things now on Poshmark and on Mercari, even though I'm not a big buyer, and you send the order off and then you just don't know what's happening. Like, is this person going to actually send it, or is it going to be one of those people that a week goes by and it never goes out? So I think it just gives them a little bit of peace of mind, and it just kind of creates a nice positive pathway to good feedback. So that's something that I think I'm going to start doing. I can't promise I'm going to stick with it or I'm going to do it for every order, but I'm going to do my best. So that was something I wanted to mention. The other thing, again, I'm going to say, like the video. If you didn't like it, like the video. Also, comment below. Do you have preset responses that you use? Whether you copy and paste them, whether you do a text replacement, do you have a special app that you use? Is there something else aside from the ones that I've covered here that you use this for or think it would be good for? Because I would love to improve all of my customer service, and I would love it if you have an idea that you want to share with me and the other mamas that are watching the channel. So if you have something to comment, I would love to see it. I do read them all and I do respond to them all. So comment. And the last thing are just a couple of bonus text replacements that have nothing to do really with Poshmark or eBay or Mercari, but I thought I would share them with you because some of them are still reselling related. Actually, they're all reselling related. So the first thing I use it for is to keep my hashtags for Instagram. So I use a series of 5 different kinds of hashtag groupings because I heard in an Instagram video that you shouldn't use the same hashtags all the time. So if you're somebody who's an influencer on Instagram, or you're just trying to build your Instagram following and you're using reselling hashtags, vary up the ones that you're using. So that you're not spamming in the algorithm, or the algorithm doesn't think you're a spammer or something. So I have 5 sets, and I have 1 RMS, 2 RMS, 3 RMS, 4 RMS, 5 RMS. Those are my Reseller Mom Show. And I have 5 sets of hashtags, and so the code is 1 RMS, and then when I type that in, it pops up a series of 30 hashtags that I've preset. And so that helps me really easily get all those hashtags in when I'm ready to send out an Instagram post. The next one I use is frequent communications with my virtual assistant. So if you have someone that you communicate with frequently for your business and there's some preset responses that you can send, load those in there. That helps a lot. The other thing I do is for Facebook listings. So someone busted in here. So the 2 last things I was gonna say is that I do use text replacements for my Facebook listings. So if you list items to sell on Facebook Marketplace and you're telling people it's porch pickup, or this is the area that you service, or this is where you meet, or that it's cross-posted in other groups, I just have a preset response that I use for my Facebook listings. And then don't press the button. And then the other thing I use it for is my local closet clear out. Since I do a lot of that on Facebook, I have some preset responses with information about how I run the local closet clear out. And I go ahead and have that preloaded so that when I'm dealing with those people on Facebook Messenger, I can just send them the information very quickly. That helps me respond fast and gets the information to them. I don't have to wait until it's a convenient time to respond with all the info they need about how this process works. So that is everything I have for you today. Thanks so much for watching. Again, like the video on the way out, subscribe for more Reseller Mom content to get more done, make more money, and stay sane while raising kids and reselling online. Bye. Say bye.
No, I need to tell them something.
Okay, well, we'll tell them next time. Bye.